Hello everybody and welcome to the phone swiping, controller fiddling and keyboard mashing, it seems, game that we all play called Marvel Contest of Champions. And me, the purveyor of filth. No, the collector of information, news that you might be wanting to know within the Marvel Contest of Champions universe. Welcome to the MCN. First of all, we start off with good news, fun news in the shape and form of Titan crystals. Hey, do you like opening Titan crystals or crystals in general where you can get champions that are going to be beneficial for your roster, or just, you know, random ones that aren't going to be beneficial? Well, you can open some now, as the Titan crystal has been refreshed with new champions. You can see here whether it's going to be the Black Widow Yelena Belova, or you could just get some older champions like Rintra and sort of later champions like Scream. You could get Okoye, yay, or you could get Dazzler. Yeah, very good. There's lots of other champions as well, so it's so what did you get? Did you open up any? Did you get some? I'm going to be opening up some towards the end of the month as I take a little bit of a small break before we do the announcement for kind of new stuff coming into July, which I am looking forward to. I really want to get a Bastion. I really want to get a Gallon 7-star. I really want to get an Okoye. There's a lot of champions in that crystal that I think I'm going to be like holding up to kind of hopefully get maybe 3, maybe 4, depending on what I do in this length of time, because we've got some new content dropping today. Wheel of Fate. In other news, a lot of things are happening with the Trello board. Last week, Kabam have been working on stuff which then they announced for the next week. So we only get to find out what Kabam have been up to, what they are up to within different time periods for, you know, whatever's passed. So here's the following. We've got playing count Nefaria against Spider-Man Supreme can cause a game freeze. The Haunted node is not behaving consistently with the description. The Hero to Zero node timer can be indefinitely paused. Behemoth's Fire Blast is not interacting properly with dexterity replacements. Lo and behold, Behemoth's not kind of like doing stuff. Well, that's been an ongoing thing. Some champions with defense ability accuracy reduction are reducing evade accuracy by twice as much. Black Panther's Relic is not interacting with all guaranteed crits. Captain Britain's Safeguard passive is not excluding SP3s, which is handy. There's a lot of fixes that have been live. You can check them out in the link in the description. And yeah, that's going to be really it for bugs that might be happening. Buff stealing, Deathless Thanos buffs cause a crash. Oh no. Let's talk about a new season for Alliance Wars. As you know, Alliance Wars, big things. Didn't really do what it needed to do. So season 59, we're coming off big things and returning to our regular scheduled programming. This means that the map will be returning to what players are used to, and along with that we have a new tactic coming down the pipe to both aid champions and bring in new challenges to the Alliance. New challenges. And to equip them to those challenges. Not only that, but we have some new development. Oh god, new developments in Kabam. Oh dear. Good luck everybody, good luck. Okay, let's see what the future holds with that. I'm not going to read out all of this. You can go and check out a lot of this in the link in the description. There's new tactics, because there's is it Frightful and Attack Fantastic. So yes, there's lots of different champions. Just quickly on the bans, on the elite side of things, Blacklist is not applicable. The Whitelist, lots of champions being whitelisted. Yeah. Kabam say, as in reiteration, new champions released during the saga will also be whitelisted for a period. However, we aren't going to add them all as coming soon here. I think we know about a lot of the champions coming to the game. You know, we know that Maker's there. We know that High Evolutionary is there. Solvarch is there. There could be some others that are there. Anyway, more details, link in the description. Frightful and new tactic, fantastic. So defense versus attack. Alliance leaders and officers prepare as you see fit. So for those that don't enjoy Alliance War, we're moving on to another story. Don't you worry about it. This was interesting. Do you remember back in the live stream, the Kabam live stream, they talked about a new type of currency coming to the game? It was like market loyalty, Webstore market loyalty. The other thing it might have been forgetting, first of all, the currency with the exchanges. You could basically, when you purchase something, you get one of these market loyalties, and you exchange for profile pictures, emotes, 7-star incursion crystals, because I don't get that. Whatever, it's Kabam's crazy train of craziness. They seem to do whatever they want. But there was nothing that was added into the web store. Now, this is very much like a spenders type thing that might be of benefit. I don't think this replaces the bonus market bonus event. I think it's something in its own right, and well, maybe it does. We'll have to see when it launches. But the question is, where was it? It was meant to be launched on the 9th of June. Kabam even said that in the live stream. They showcased an infographic that said that. But to give you the full facts, this is the following. Looking like this was pushed back a week, it should be up on the 16th. June 9th was an early target. If you're looking to spend something in game, maybe avoid it for this week, unless it's like a time critical thing that you've got to pick up, and grab as a next week. Because then at least you'll get some of the new currency to then spend down the line on stuff that you might want. Anyway, there you go. They'll put you in a picture of the market loyalty. On to new Relic Shards, or relics in general. I think a lot of us are interested in new relics. Relics have taken a long time to really kind of facilitate a popularity within the game. I've warmed up to them a bit more. I haven't done as much content as I should do, like videos wise on them, but that's just down to circumstantial things and stuff that's happening IRL this year. But I did have plans that I wanted to do something like that. Either way, I've got to shout out Ouroboros on that one, but yeah, we'll try and find a link to kind of put in the description for that if you want any kind of decent relic guides. But where and what is happening with relics? You know, good question here, or you know, observation. Are we going to be able to use our relic shards on the new relics, or collect more? I mean, buy more. If so, not cool. We'll see. Yeah, these new stat relics are meant to be coming in at some point. There's meant to be a dev diary at some point for them as well. And Kabam said back on the start of the year, and shout out to Sir Games Bond, who said nothing to set. This was Kabam Crash. Nothing set in stone, but I think there's likely there'll be more relics released in 2025. Once we know for sure, there'll be an announcement based on the conversation so far. I'm assuming the design will be significantly different, provide a different value proposition. The design may also include new acquisition, progression, rank up materials, methods, systems. So that's, if you are hoping to kind of hoard a lot of 4-star, 3-star, 5-star based relic shards, don't get your hopes up. You know, don't get your hopes up. Really don't. Do not get your hopes up with it. These may be, the relics we have in the game may be just like so specific that there's no point to kind of going and hoarding them. I know some people are kind of like holding out for some stuff. Grandmaster Rex said the new relics are still actively being developed and aren't finished yet. As soon as info is ready to be shared, everything will be shared, but they likely won't be released in a stray forum comment. That's true. That Kabam even said, they said there's gonna be a dev diary. So yeah, wait for the dev diary and we'll find out more. We could even find out more towards the end of the month, or it'll be in next month's live stream, or sorry, the end of this month's live stream, where we find out more details about what's happening in the future. We're going to end on the ban wave, or as I've kind of titled this segment, if you see the time codes, Unban Wave. This has come in the last 24 hours that people are being unbanned for the issues that arose from the situation around the ban wave, where people were unfairly banned that shouldn't have been banned. And this is at least the little shout out to Bart the Marvel fan, who had this interaction with Kabam. Gives us a little bit of like, again, information on being banned. It's a bit wordy, but we'll try and kind of cover as much as possible. But they said, as documented forum post, anti-cheating, blah, 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 blah. We received a great deal of feedback from the players who feel they were unjustly suspended of these actions as documented in the recent bandwidth updates. The team has been re-evaluating the suspended accounts and have decided to reverse some of the suspension. So it is quite likely that some of the accounts that we have removed, the suspension, and it goes on, from were violating term service, but we would rather make sure that those who are not do not get punished. While I do not have the specifics available at this time, we can confirm that players whose suspensions have been overturned will receive a compensation package at some point in the next week that is intended to cover any missed rewards in game, as well as additional rewards for inconvenience. We'll find out more about that next week. At least that gets people back in playing the game for now. And Kabam closed by saying the investigation to the accounts were possibly not violating our terms of service is still ongoing and may take some time to be complete. It is possible that more accounts may end up having the suspensions revoked in the future, so don't get your hopes up if you think that you're back and you're back for good. You may not be. You may be on borrowed time. Support making those determinations on individual accounts. Level support ticket, maybe game team considered blah 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 blah. At this time, there's no further information that Kabam Sport can provide. So at least that's a bit of a, you know, please create a new support ticket reference to the issue only, so it can be appropriately addressed by the correct team. Hopefully people will be able to get back in, because we have seen reports that players have been able to get back in. Yeah, so some accounts have now been able to get back into, or players able to get back into accounts. So have you been able to get back in? How are you feeling about things? And I think there's still a lot of things that we still yet to know. And that's when you don't know as much information, you know, and that's the thing. I wonder how many people have been actually had false bans and how many were lying. Some people definitely deserve the benefit of the doubt, but I'm sure most people here weren't telling the truth. That's the thing. You have to be. You just don't know what to think is right and is wrong, because you just don't know. You know, that's what we left this weekend feeling like. Who's right? Who's wrong? Anyway, that's been it for the show. I thank you very much for watching and supporting the content and the shows as you normally do. I'm going to see you all in the next one, and bye for now.